From today, millions of Aussies will have the right to ignore calls and emails from their boss outside of work hours. Josh found out more.
What are some of your experiences with being contacted outside of work hours?
I've definitely had times where it's like, if you don't reply within a minute, like, it's not good enough.
It does annoy me a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you just have to do it just to please your bosses.
Yep, for a lot of Aussies, clocking off for the day doesn't always mean you're done for the day.
You see, thanks to the rise of smartphones and the pandemic, the line between work life and home life has been getting pretty blurred.
The right to disconnect is now law, because if you're not being paid 24 hours a day, you shouldn't be on call 24 hours a day either.
The new laws are all about setting up boundaries, making sure that workers can, within reason, refuse contact from the office outside of work hours without getting into trouble. But is it really going to make a difference?
Well, I guess it all depends on the context of the situation.
I feel like I would just answer the call if I had it.
I think you could have sort of a system in place where people can say either yes or no to being contacted out of work.
I think just having that law is good just to allow people to feel that their voice is valued.
If you're not being paid, then why are you doing anything for free, you know?
I think just teaching everyone work isn't your whole life. Work is important, but you still want to have that balance.
The Northern Territory has a new leader. After 8 years in opposition, the Country Liberal Party will now be in government after a landslide victory against the Labor Party. Former lawyer Lia Finocchiaro will be the new Chief Minister, and she says community safety is a top priority.
It's an honour and a privilege. We've heard loud and clear that Territorians want change.
Remember the two NASA astronauts who were stuck in space? Yeah, well, they're still there, and they're going to be there a little while yet. Yesterday, NASA made the call to leave them on the ISS until February next year, when a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft can go get them. It said their current Boeing Starliner capsule was too risky to use after suffering a series of glitches when they first went up there back in June. Now to sport, and the AFL's final season is just around the corner. Here's Cushy.
Yep, the AFL's top 8 teams have been locked in for this year's finals series. It'll all kick off in a couple of weeks with Port Adelaide, who finished second on the ladder, hosting third place Geelong in their qualifying final. And a Sydney showdown with the top place Swans taking on fourth place GWS. Meanwhile, it'll be Brisbane versus Carlton and Western Bulldogs versus Hawthorn in do-or-die elimination finals. But it's not just the finals everyone's talking about.
Oh no.
With a big investigation launched over this water bottle incident in the Carlton and St Kilda match on the weekend. Ouch. Now let's shift gears because we're heading to the Dutch Grand Prix, where this guy has won for the second time this year.
Lando Norris wins!
It was a rough setup for Norris after a quick start from Max Verstappen.
And Max Verstappen takes the lead!
But a strong 18th lap saw him overtake Verstappen to take out the title. And finally, the Paralympic torch relay has begun. The torch was lit in a village called Stoke Mandeville in England, which is where the Paralympics first started, and will travel to France under the English Channel in a 4-day relay.
Now it's time for a part of the show I like to call hair-raising. It's hard work, but worth every strand. First up to the Netherlands, where thousands of red-headed people have gathered for a special festival celebrating their fiery locks.
It's really special to be in a place where all people have red hair.
Redheads are pretty rare, making up only about 1 to 2% of the world's population. Now to Lithuania, where the 3rd annual Corgi race has hit the ground running. More than 100 Corgis from all over Europe have come to take part.
And it's a myth that they cannot run fast, so they are really, really sporty. They shed a lot. Oh, my home is just filled with Corgi hair.
And those that aren't racing have dressed up for the fashion contest. And finally to the US, where thousands of balloons were dropped from the ceiling at the end of the Democratic National Convention. But what happens to all those balloons after? Yeah, spare a thought for the folks whose job it is to pop and clean up every single one. Oh, my back hurts just looking at this. Well, that's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay.